Coming up on the next 400.
You like touch the chicken and the meat. So that's that.
Wait a minute, Chef Raul. You have started without me. I got to get my apron. Why you get started without me, Chef?
Well, we need to surprise you to have dinner ready for you. And it's already done.
And listen, don't gas me up like that, Chef.
Well,
yes.
We're here to eat, and that's what we're going to do.
Well, we have a lot going on here. Tell us what we have. Okay.
I am half Jamaican, half Panamanian, so I have these two cultures that basically live parallel in me.
Okay.
So what I wanted to do was to create something what I call the two Caribbeans, where the Latino and all those spices fuse with the Jamaican and the Barbados. So it's those two areas of the Caribbean, one in Spanish y la otra in English. Oh. So what we have today is an array of different things. Okay. So a couple of things that we're going to have. Let's say the main dish we're going to do is going to be a little bit of combination of the curry and the soy sauce, and then we have like cumin. And then you can see here we have some of those ingredients. So for example, we have garlic here. We use some garlic to season, to marinate the chicken. Okay. So we do that, and then also for the sauce, what we did, we have some capers, which are not very common in, I'm gonna use the English Caribbean part. Okay. But they're very common in the Latin American part. So we have this fusion that comes like from the Mediterranean through Spain, all of that. So we begin to see those two cultures coming together on your plate. Mm-hmm. And that's gonna happen today. Mm-hmm. So we have that. So we have tomatoes, for example. So this sauce for the chicken is a chicken sauce made with fresh tomatoes, capers, a little bit of tomato paste, curry, cumin, and garlic. Okay. That's the chicken. Okay. Then we have now, this is where, like, for example, in the Caribbean, we have this use of coconut. So you're gonna find that in the Caribbean part, in the different areas, it is very common, especially in the black parts of the Caribbean or in Latin America, that the use of coconut, which also from Africa, we have that influence.
Yes.
So for example, this rice is made with coconut milk. Oh, wow. So I had like a little bit of coconut milk here. So we did that with the rice. So that's one of the sides. And then a lot of people have never seen what a chayote is. A chayote is a type of squash.
Chayote.
Chayote. Okay. Yes. Yeah, it sounds kind of cool. Quiere bailar con un chayote, and one of those little things.
Come
but
on,
that's
Chef.
not, we're not going to do that.
Okay.
So what we're going to do here, so this chayote, how I made it on the stove. Okay. And what I did, I basically sauteed it with different herbs, like for example, thyme, it has cumin, it has a little bit of oregano, some fresh sea salt, and also some black pepper, and then a little bit of stock. So it's going to give you different textures as we do that.
Is it a fruit? Is it a vegetable?
It's a veggie.
Okay.
So when you think of the different variations of squash that you will see, this is one that's very popular in Latin America, especially in that Caribbean area, Central American part. Yeah, so you have the chayote. And then also what I did, and you can see we have plantains here.
Yes, yes.
So there are different ways in how we do the plantains. So for example, the way I did it for today is something that we call in my country, in other countries of Latin America, they call that plátanos en tentación. Ooh. So it's like plantains in temptation, but you should fall into temptation.
You should.
You should. Yeah. So what we're gonna do with this is actually, so it's made, and I have right here. So you take the plantain and you can cook it in different ways you want, right? So here you have cinnamon, nutmeg, and brown sugar. You cook that. Temptation. Okay. And then you cook that in real butter, and while it's brown and crispy on the outside, you add a little bit of cola to that. And then it gives you this kind of little nice syrup.
Okay, okay, yes.
And then finally, we're gonna have some red bell peppers that have been seasoned with salt, a little bit of black pepper, and we use soy sauce. So in my country, for example, you see the convergence of all these different cultures. So for example, we had a huge migration of Chinese in the 1800s. And our food reflects that. We use all the different spices of the Chinese. Not all, but we do see that influence. And then from huge migration we had at the beginning of the 19th century, we have also from Jamaican.
Yes.
So you have all the curry and the peppers. Oh, and I did forget to say that the sauce for the chicken has a hint of Scotch bonnet. Not too much. So the way we did it, that we just poked it.
Okay.
And then we just put it in there.
Okay, now listen.
So that's what we are serving for you today.
Well, I am excited, and you gave us a good history lesson. Well, it's important to know how our foods have evolved, and so thank you for sharing that. Listen, can we eat?
We certainly can.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's see what we got
let's
going.
Get that. Let me get a plate over here.
All right, look, I'm gonna get out your way. Yes,
So I'm
all
gonna
I
play
needed
this
was
for you.
Okay.
So already in advance, I have some of the rice already ready to go. So I'm gonna just do that little plating here. So I'll do this right here. And let me get, for example, here, let me find a pair of tongs that should be right here.
Yes.
Okay. So from here, I have this.
So as
And
you're
here's the
making the
chicken.
plate, can you kind of tell us how
the connection between Jamaica and Panama,
how has that connection been when you met it with the States?
are there similarities? Are there differences? Or what would you say?
Well, you know, even in the context of Latin America, we see that, and then moving here, one of the things I have found that people are usually shocked when I speak Spanish, because Spanish is my first language. So they will go, oh, I didn't know you spoke Spanish. And then so you know, I always get that, you know, when people ask or they're a little bit shocked because
Yes.
I speak Spanish.
Yes.
But I think that as people begin to get more exposed, you know, to different cultures and to different things, they begin to see that we have a lot more things in common
Come on.
than we have that separate us. And I think we forget about that, you know, and how, for example, plantains.
Yes.
Africa, you have plantains in Africa, you have plantains all over America. So when we start looking at those elements, it's when we see how we lose so much in looking at the differences
Yes.
instead of looking at the things that brings us together or that we have in common. So there's a couple of the things that we like to do through food. And so what I'm gonna do here is get a little plate for you, and then I'll just clean this up for you.
Listen, I'm gonna mess it right back up.
You are, but we just want to make sure that
Yes. Oh,
when
that's
you
beautiful.
do that, we want you to think about messing it up.
You don't have to think about it. We don't have to think.
So here you have it. So you
Wow.
have the coconut rice, the chicken in that caper sauce, then you have the chayote, temptation plantains, and then you have right now, as you can see, the bell peppers.
Oh, where is
I think
my?
you should.
Where's my fork? You don't. Where's my
I
fork?
don't know where they have your fork.
That's all
but
right. We'll find a place. Ow! Yeah.
And here you have it. Very simple and easy to do.
So anybody can do this.
Anybody can do it. It's just a chicken, you just saute it, you just marinate it.
That's right.
And one thing that we tell people is that marinating, like I remember in the Caribbean when I used to see my grandparents cook, you marinate the chicken like the day before. It's none of these, you know, we don't sprinkle the you like touch the chicken and you know the meat.
Yes,
So that's
yes.
that. So yeah, so this is just a sample of that fusion of the different cuisines and different elements.
gosh.
And you have it all in a plate.
Yeah, I'm gonna get it all. I got the rice, I got the plantain, the chicken.
But you can take 2 bites, you know.
Listen, we got to get this thing all in one. Here we go. Here we go.
And it should make you dance. Because that's how we cook in the Caribbean.
Hold on. I'm not supposed to talk with a full mouth. Just a moment. This is absolutely delicious. And I taste the capers. Listen, if you want this recipe, you have got to log on to our social media platforms at the next 400. Chef Raul, you did this thing.
Well, thank you.
Thank you so much for
Muchas
being
gracias.
here. Yes. And I've been learning a little Spanish. Yes. Thank you. Just keep on. I'll talk to you later.